Hello everyone, and welcome to this specialist trading presentation. Welcome, my name is Stephen Primo. I am the president and founder of specialisttrading.com. I've been trading actually for a total of 36 years. 9 of those years I was a specialist, so I'm a 36-year veteran of trading the markets as well as a former specialist. And I currently trade right now, and I want to actually share with you something that I use on a current basis that I'm introducing for the first time to all of my members and to new students. And that's what the subject of today's presentation is going to be about. I'm introducing our new tool that is the PET-D. This is a great tool. It's a trade guidance tool that we're introducing for the first time to all of our members of the stock course. And I'm going to show you in detail exactly what it looks like and how to use it. But before we begin today's presentation, I ask that you please take a moment to view our disclaimer. We're required to show you this before all of our presentations. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using the PET-D tool, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to show you will be repeated in the future. So as you're taking a moment to view our disclaimer, I'd also like to mention, for those of you, I see we have some old names here, some old faces that are current members and students and people that have come to my presentations in the past. And I'm sure you're quite aware that I love to answer each and every one of your questions, but I like to wait till the very end of the webinar. So if you happen to have a question about the PET-D or something that didn't quite make sense, or you don't fully understand it, please write it down, and I promise I'll get to it at the very end of today's class. Now, if you happen to come up with a question once we've concluded, once again, don't worry. I will fill you in at the very end, and I will also give you a phone number as well as an email address to contact us. You can ask us any question you'd like as well. So remember, if you have a question, for those of you who come in late, please write it down, and we'll get to it at the very end. It won't be very long. We'll go through this rather quickly, and then we can answer any questions that you may have. All right, so let's start at the beginning. I'm sure a lot of you are saying, what exactly is the PET-D? That's kind of a funny name. I don't really understand what that stands for. And simply put, the PET-D is the Primo Early Trend Detector. All right, that really pretty much sums it all up. It really is great at detecting the trend prior to those big moves. So many times, not going to guarantee, but many times this tool will help you spot a trend before it even starts really moving along into one of those great, very strong trends. It's basically a proprietary color bar algorithm. So that's the way this tool is expressed through a color bar system. All right? And it's an algorithm, proprietary. We don't share it with anyone, even our members or students. It's privy only to me and the few people at Specialist Trading. But really what you need to know is just to see how well it works. And once you become a member of our stock course, you'll be able to use it along with other markets as well. Now, as we stated, it's a color bar tool. So if you have a series of green bars, this basically tells you that you're in an uptrend. All right. The beauty of this is, though, that you don't have to wait for that to happen. Many times you'll see a small series of green bars, such as 3 to 5, and this will be way before the trend takes off in an upward move. Now, at the same time, if you see a series of red bars, this is telling you that you're in a downtrend. This is the way the PET-D works. As I stated, it's not an indicator. It's basically a trend, or I should say a trade guidance tool. So you can be in sync with the current trend, and that will give you some type of guide as which strategy to use as to give you the assurance that you're on the right side of the market. Once again, as we stated, here's an example in AIV. The beauty of the PET-D is that it tells you which direction you should be trading. Once you know, you can apply any strategy, either one of mine or one of yours, to that direction. Now, probably I would say the biggest reason why traders lose, whether you're day trading, intraday trading, it really doesn't matter what market, is because you're not in sync with the current trend. Many times you may have a great idea, it looks great on paper, you get in, and the minute you get in, it just goes the opposite direction. That's most likely because you were out of sync with the trend. Now, we have a number of tools, but what's great about the PET-D is that it's great for spotting those trends early. That's why it's called the Primo Early Trend Detector. So as you can see here, we have a series of green and red bars, but look at the majority of these bars here in green, and look at how they started right here at the very bottom and told you well in advance that we were going higher. And from time to time, because the tool is so sensitive, it will give you these opposite moving trend bars, but all of a sudden it will get kicked back and go right back into place. So it's a really, really great tool. It's a color bar system that really tells you the direction you should be trading. Now, another way to describe what the PET-D is by telling you what it is not, and the PET-D is not an indicator nor a strategy. In other words, an indicator will give you signals on when something is overbought or oversold or telling you when to enter. Same as a strategy. A strategy will tell you where to enter. It'll actually tell you where to place your stops and where to exit. This is not any of those. It's not an indicator nor a strategy, but it's a unique color bar tool that's based on momentum. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to spot this early momentum before those large trends begin. And it's designed to show you in advance when a trend has most likely begun. Okay, so that's the beauty of this. Many times you'll see in advance the color bars change, and thus you can use it to your advantage. Now I want to show you this for people who have attended the past presentations. We talked about this a little bit, but I want to go into greater detail to show you how well this tool can spot in advance a big trend. Now this announcement came out in Tesla at the beginning of the month on the 13th, and it said the electric car maker Tesla defies skeptics. Basically it's saying that the electric vehicle manufacturer reported this past week its first ever profit of 11.2 million in sales. Tesla is promising even better numbers for the rest of the coming year as it ramps up production in its assembly plant near San Francisco. It's going to open up markets in Europe and in Asia as well. Now off this news, it sent the stock into a frenzy. Tesla shares surged 24% in the hours after the maker's first quarter earnings announcement, and doubling since hitting a low point late last winter. So this is great news, and unfortunately this is the way most people decide they're trading off of, waiting for news or waiting for an outside source to tell them what to do, to give them the confirmation. I would say the majority of all traders trade this way. They'll either depend too much on an indicator, depend too much on a trading room or a chat room, or depend too much on news to tell them what to do. The beauty of this great tool that we have for you is that it'll many times tell you in advance what's about to happen. As we look at the chart here on the far right, this is when that news announcement that I just read came out. But if we apply the PET-D, we see as far back as the beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April, look what the color bars were doing. They switched from red to green and had a series of green bars all the way up until all that good news. And this actual chart is the stock has even gone higher than this chart when this chart was taken. But you would have had a nice 40-point trend in your direction since the PET-D signaled that. Remember, it's a trade guidance tool. With this tool, you could have said, you know, far in advance, I'm going to start looking for strategy signals to go long Tesla, because the PET-D is confirming it long before we have to wait for any other confirmation. All right, so let's talk about some of the advantages to using the PET-D. There are a number of advantages, far too many to talk about in this short presentation, but let me give you the main ones. Now, the advantages to using this new tool are, first of all, once again, it gives you the security of trading in sync with the current trend. As you just saw there, Tesla, you know, someone would have been frightened possibly a month or two ago in getting involved in this, while the PET-D was saying you have the security of knowing you have a nice trend going at this time. Until the color bars change, you're okay to look for long setups using some type of strategy. So that's one of the best things. You have the security, you know that you have a great foundation behind you to go ahead and take that strategy signal. Another advantage to using this is it can be applied as a stop placement method. So let's say you have some very nice green bars going for you, and then you have a series of red bars. We'll show you people in the class, in the actual stock course class, how to use these as stop placement guides. So you can, rather than wait for the stock to come all the way down to the very bottom where you entered or perhaps take a loss, you can use this as one of your stop placement methods. And I think lastly, which most people will get the most excited about, an advantage to using the PET-D, is that it supplies you with numerous, and when I say numerous, I mean numerous trading techniques that are based on the color bars. Now, I'm not saying strategies, because once again, a strategy needs an entry, a stop placement, an exit, money management, all tied in. But we're talking about just trading techniques. We're talking about nice little setups that you can build a strategy off of. Now, excuse me, I'm going to share one of those trading techniques with you today, just to show you how simple but powerful using this technique is with the PET-D. All right, so these are the requirements you need for this particular technique. Obviously, you're going to need to have the PET-D applied to your chart, and then we're going to look for an inside day bar pattern. Okay, now for those of you who aren't familiar with what an inside day is, Let's simply clarify it here. It's a two-bar pattern. In other words, today's bar and yesterday's bar. Now, we say day, but this could easily apply to a 5-minute chart or a monthly chart. We're basically just looking at two bars. But if you look at it as if they are daily bars, inside days are days where the chart bar has a lower high and a higher low than that of the previous day. Okay, so let me show you exactly what that means. That may be a little wordy there, but if you have 2 days, remember we have a two-bar pattern. Remember, each one of these bars does not have to necessarily be a day. It could be 5 minutes, it could be monthly. But you see here that here's day number 1 and day number 2. Day number 2 has a lower high than the previous day, and at the same time, it has a higher low than the previous day or the previous bar. So the reason why they call it inside is because the range of this particular bar is inside the range of the prior bar. Okay, so that's your inside day. All right, so we've clarified we're looking for this particular two-bar pattern along with the PET-D tool applied to it. So what are we actually looking for? Well, if we're looking for a buy situation or a buy pattern, we want to look for both bars of an inside day pattern to be colored green. Okay, this is your signal that a quick upward momentum move may continue. So that's what we're looking for, and this is what you want to see. Once you've applied the PET-D tool to your chart, you can see here that we have an inside day that is fully colored in the color bar system in green. All right, what if we're looking to go short? Well, we want to look for some type of setup, some type of clue that we're going to have a nice move down. Well, look for both bars of an inside day pattern to be colored red now with the PET-D tool. This is your signal that a quick downward momentum move may continue. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. That's simple. Remember, the credo at Specialist Trading is keep things as simple as possible. It doesn't get much simpler than that. Okay, but let me show you how powerful this little setup can be. Let's just look at one chart, or one stock, I should say, Apple, and let's look at different time frames to show you how well this tool transfers over into different time frames and in different directions. Now let's start off by looking at a weekly chart of Apple going back to December or January of this year. All right, we see coming into the year the majority of the bars are all red. We have a couple of bars that signaled up for one bar but then quickly came back in the downward mode. Now if we're looking for that setup we talked about, well, guess what? Here's an inside day right here, and as you can see, a quick momentum move of 70 points to the downside. Remember, this is on a weekly basis, so you could have applied some type of rules for entry, some type of rules for stop placement. You could have traded the stock, or if this is a little bit too rich for your blood, I know $500 stock is a little expensive, you could have bought the puts on this. Number of ways in which to apply some type of method to this. And then later on we see here, guess what? What do we have? We have the inside day. Both bars are red, and then we had a quick 40-point move to the downside. Okay, so if you're looking as an investor does at weekly charts or even monthly charts, in this past 4 or 5 months, you had two setups where you could have made over 100 points, okay, just using this simple tool. Let's go to daily bars. Let's start off at the same time period, roughly the end of last year coming into this year. We see that the majority of the color bar system are all in red. We have a couple of snap ups to the upside in green, but the majority are all red. Let's look for those inside days. Well, we start here in October. Here's an inside day followed by a 50-point quick downward move. We have another inside day here in October, an inside day pattern followed by a quick 80-point move to the downside. In November, another inside day pattern followed by a quick 40-point move to the downside. And then we get this nice move to the upside, all right? Guess what? The colors turn green now. Here's an inside day pattern right there, a quick 30-point move to the upside. Colors turn red once again. We're in December now. We have an inside day pattern both in red. We have a 20-point move to the downside, followed by another inside day pattern here coming in the beginning of the year, 70 points to the downside. So we're talking close to 300 points in just about 3 or 4 months using this simple trading technique. Once again, this is not a strategy. We haven't told you where you'd enter, where you'd place your stop, or where you'd exit. But safe to say, if you've been trading for a while, you could come up with some very simple way to trade this. Let's go down to a 5-minute chart of Apple. In fact, this chart was taken yesterday in Apple, a 5-minute chart starting around 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. We see here that while we were moving up, the majority of the bars were in green, and then as we started moving down, the majority of the bars turned red. Guess what? Right here, roughly around 9 o'clock Pacific Time, we had an inside day bar coded in green. We had a nice 5-point move to the upside, in the next half hour, an hour. Followed by another inside move, but this time both colors were red, and as we can see, we had a nice move to the downside, 4 points. So regardless if you're an intraday trader, regardless if you like to trade weekly or even monthly bars, you see how this real simple technique can work, and you can build some type of trading strategy off of this. Now remember, this is just one of the different strategies. We have a multitude of different ways in which to use this, along with our current strategies. You can even apply just our current strategies if you like. I'll give you some more examples, not just to say that we're focusing on Apple. I know it's an expensive stock, but let's look at some other examples we have here as well. Tesla. Remember we talked about Tesla? All right. Say if someone had the pet D that they were using this tool, and they said, well, Steve, you know, I wanted to use this. How could I use this trading if I don't have your strategies? Well, you simply see here that all these circles here were inside days. You think you could have taken advantage of these big moves while Tesla was going up? Remember, this is way in advance of any news coming out, way in advance of knowing how the earnings were going to be or how the company was faring. Simply listened to the pet D, and this tool was telling you we're in an uptrend. So just, you know, go along with it until we have consecutive bars of the opposite color. How about Facebook? Okay, this chart was taken yesterday, actually, and we had a nice little run up here at the very beginning of May. As you can see, the color bars were green. We have a circle here, circling 2 green bars of an inside day, and you had a nice run up after that from 27 up to 29, just a couple of points. Then later on in the month, in mid-month, the color bars turned red well before the stock really fell out of bed. And here's an inside day right here, and you had a nice move to the downside, roughly from 26.5 all the way down to 23.5. So roughly 5 points if you were just using this simple method to trade. You can take this, and once again, this is not a strategy. There's no entry or exit method or money management, but it's safe to say that you could take a quick point out of most of these trades here. How about ABX? All right, we can see here that the mining stock is in a real strong downward move. All the bars are in red here. So if you didn't want to apply any one of my strategies that come with all the rules and everything you should do, or one of yours, you can simply look for the simple technique, build the strategy upon it. And you can see right here, earlier in the month, we had 2 inside days that could have warned you in advance of a strong downward momentum move. Remember, people, as I always say, trading doesn't have to be difficult. Trading is extremely simple. It's only us who make it difficult. We get in our own way. And then lastly, you can use this as a directional tool for the market. Now here the spiders, as we can see coming in to the very end of May here, when this chart was taken, all of the bars coming into May, you know, we've had a really nice rally. Well, all the bars in April actually were green as well. So we knew in advance that we were in some type of uptrend. There was no way we were going to even look to short the spiders. And if you wanted to use this as a directional tool for the market itself, you could see that, well, if the spiders are all green, then I'm only going to look for stocks to go long or for issues that are green as well. You know, the number of ways to use it. Or you could have just traded the spiders and looked for a couple of inside days while we're going upward. And as you can see here, in the middle and end of the month, we had 2 nice inside days here where you could have taken advantage of that. Okay, so let's recap as we come to the close of this presentation. The PET D is a simple trading technique. We just share with you a simple trading technique that we incorporated the PET D with this 2-bar pattern. It pinpoints quick momentum moves in any direction and in any time frame. Points to remember, though, as I've stated, this is not a complete strategy. What I just shared with you with the trading technique with the PET D applied with a 2-bar pattern, the inside day, is not a complete strategy. Remember, we want you to use the PET D as a directional tool, but in order to use it as a strategy, you still need to know about entry points, you still need to have stop placement, you still need to have money management involved. I know a lot of people will say, well, actually I don't need that. I mean, here's an example in CRM. Okay, I'm sure some of you could say, well, just off face value, I can tell right now, I don't need any color bars to tell me that CRM is going lower. Okay, coming into May, we're in a clear downtrend. So I don't need the color bars. I'm sure that they're all red at this time. And I see right here, what do I have? An inside 2-bar pattern, an inside day. So I'm going to go short. I'm going to sell at the market because I'm sure that this would be a valid setup for that trading technique Steve talked about. Okay, well, so you sell there and guess what happens? Go straight up. Okay. Now someone would say, well, I don't understand it. It worked with Steve. I know you're supposed to be in a downtrend and you look for that inside day pattern. Well, this is why the PET D is so valuable, because if you had applied the PET D, you would have seen that of those two bars, they're both supposed to be red. One was red, and then the other one switched to green. As you can see, before this large move took place, what did you have? You had a green bar, a series of green bars. And if you had waited, well, guess what? Right here, you had a perfect PET D setup using this two-bar technique of an inside day, and you could have caught this move to the upside, roughly from 43 up to 46 or 47. So this is why the PET D is so it's so important. So simple but important at the same time. I know a lot of people will try to second guess and say, well, I know when a downtrend is in place, I'm going to just look for that two-bar pattern. But as you can see right here, it doesn't always work that way. The PET D will really help you give you those high percentage trades using this technique. Now, the only place you can get the PET D is in the Elite Stock Trading College. Okay, we're not offering it any place else. It's not sold individually. It's only sold, and you can only get it by becoming a member or student in our Elite Stock Trading College package. So I just wanted to share with you one of the great things that we'll have. Now, included in this Trading College, we have 6 weeks of detailed instruction. Okay, so this is 6 live presentations that I give to you when we get everyone together, pick a day that's perfect for everyone, and we have 6 live presentations where I go over all the things I'm going to be presenting in the college. So what am I presenting? Well, 3 proprietary strategies, 3 strategies I believe that have the highest consistency for success in trading stocks. I'm going to share with you all the exits, all the entries, and all the stops of these strategies. I'm also going to give you signal alerts for a year, so you'll know where the signals are by coming to our proprietary page or by receiving an email on a nightly basis of what the signals are. But you'll really, after a couple of weeks, you'll know how to spot these signals on your own. We also provide you with weekly webinars where I give you different clues and different tips to elevate your trading. I'm going to give you another great trading tool. That's our ATM, or Advanced Trade Management. It's a great tool designed to keep you out of drawdowns, large major drawdowns, when your system or strategy goes pretty much out of sync with the market. Once again, the Primo Early Trend Detector, which we shared with you today, we showed you some examples. That also is included in the Stock Trading College. You have full access to all the strategy rules, and you have access to myself, because I'm going to give you my personal email address, and you have access to me. You can ask me questions whenever you'd like. Now, this Elite Stock College complete course goes for roughly $3,000, $29.95. But because you attended today and saw what we had to say about the PET D, we're reducing it roughly $500 down to $24.95. But this is for 1 year, or I should say this is for a limited time only. This is only for a day or two, and this includes 1 year of trade signals. Now, one of the things I want to mention is that this is the first time we've ever had an Elite Stock Trading College. So this is, we're presenting this with we believe, 3 of our best strategies, along with all the information, Advanced Trade Management, and the Primo Early Trend Detector. Now, we've already introduced a Forex college as well as an E-mini college. And one of the things I want to just mention is that when we first introduced the E-mini college, it was roughly $2,500. Now, because of the great success we've had with that, and because of the people having so much interest, that price has been raised to $5,000 because it's done so well. All the strategies and the techniques we shared with our members. The Forex course, which started out roughly a year or so ago at $1,500, is now up to roughly $3,000. So this brings us to mind that we're looking at the current price here of roughly $2,500. I'm sure that in the next year it's going to be much, much higher. So if you want to take advantage of this, plus get these 2 great tools, the Advanced Trade Management and the Primo Early Trend Detector, which aren't available anywhere else, I would highly suggest taking advantage of these discounts, but this early bird discount especially we have here. Remember, this includes everything we just talked about and 1 year trade signals, okay? So if you're very interested and you want to really take your trading to the next level and get instruction from a 36-year veteran, I encourage you to take advantage of these current discounts. Now, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Remember, if you want to find out a little bit more information, you can go to our sister site, that's Pro Trader Strategies, where you have more information about myself and my current strategies and programs. Or you can contact one of our representatives, our trade representative, Don Jans, at donjans@protraderstrategies.com, or call us directly at area code 310-492-5393. Now, I want to thank all of you for waiting and taking time to ask any questions. So I'm going to open up the board here. If anyone feels free to ask any questions, Oh, Mr. Lawrence Rochester. Hello, Lawrence. Lawrence is a great student. He's been a Forex and E-mini member as well. He's a great student, and he's saying hello here. And I haven't talked to him in a while, so I hope he's doing successful, and he's learned a lot from us, and he's really helped us out a lot as well. So it's good to have Lawrence in our class. I believe Diana is asking about the previous screen. Let me just, if you're interested in our previous screen, maybe that's what you're asking. Here's what we have right here. If that's the screen, Diana, that you're asking about, this is all the information, and this is what is available in our stock strategy course. Diana also asked, how about a stock stuck in a trading range? That's a very good question, and we all know that it doesn't matter if you're trading a strategy or a system or some trading technique that you've learned. When anything goes in a trading range or some type of whipsaw movement, it's very difficult to get some positive results. It doesn't matter what you're trading. But the point is, what our tools do and what our strategies do is many times they will keep you out. In other words, we have to have a certain number of rules and requirements met in order for us to have a setup. And we cannot have this setup unless all the requirements are met. Now, they're not a lot, maybe just 3 or 4 or 5 at the most. But it's very hard for these requirements to be met in a choppy or range-bound market. So many times we won't get signals. You'll just be on the sidelines. Now, many times you'll be on the sidelines for weeks, if not months. This doesn't happen a lot, but I'm sure if you look back, you would much rather be on the sidelines for 2 or 3 weeks as opposed to consistently losing money. So what our strategies do is not, can't be guaranteed, but often we won't even generate signals in these rangy or just up and down markets, okay? So I hope that answers your question, Diana. And if this is the slide you wanted to go to, this is our current discount page, what we're showing you. But let me go back to the other slide just so that if people are interested in asking questions or sending emails. Oh, you're very welcome, Diana. Any other questions? I want to thank you for waiting if you happen to have any. Remember, if you're interested, or I see that there are some people here about, that have not been to our presentations before, and I know people may have questions thinking, well, I'm not familiar with specialist trading, or I don't know how well you people are, or how viable a company you are. I would venture to say that the majority of all of our customers are referral customers, or such as Mr. Rochester. These are people that have already purchased before, and they purchase new and different programs. So there's a lot of people that really like our programs, like our strategies, like our information, and then come back or refer. So we really are not constantly just getting new people and then leaving them by the wayside. A lot of the people have stayed with us for a number of years. So you can see the testament of how many people are current members of ours who continue to stay as members and students of specialist trading. Does it work on Forex? I assume you're asking about the PET D. Yes, I think that's probably one of the best things about not only the PET D, but the ATM as well as our strategies, is that they transfer over onto other markets. Now, a lot of people say, boy, I can use this, so if I purchase this stock course, I can apply them to any other market. Pretty much so. The PET-D, I know, can work just in any market without any major changes. The ATM can work in any market, in any time frame without any changes. The strategies would just have to be tweaked just ever so slightly to switch over to E-mini or Forex. But they're basically, built for stocks, but we could show you how to switch them over. But you're really getting a lot of information that can be easily transferred over into other markets. Thank you, Mr. Rochester, for the kind words. As I stated, he is a great trader. He's been trading for a while, but he came to us, and he's once again a repeat customer, and he's also given us a lot of great feedback and helped us with a lot of information. And so this is really what specialist trading is built off of. We're a community, we're more like a family. We're really a small company of roughly about 5 people altogether, and we really are trying to just make sure that our members get the best information and the best bang for their buck. A lot of people will sell you programs and then you'll never hear from them again. We really stick by you all the way. We're always answering emails. We constantly want you to keep in touch with us as lifelong members. And we're there with you every step of the way. Should you have any questions, we're constantly there for you, so that it's more of a mentorship actually than just a simple you buy a strategy and then you never hear from us again. So we're really there for our students and for our members, and our goal is to make you really self-sufficient. This is not something where you have to constantly come back and get new information that that will not help you until you get the new upgraded version. Now, this is something that once you really fully understand it, you can use it, and you really only have to contact us when you'd like. There's no real feeling that you have to constantly be coming back for more. It's just that our students and members like to come back to get upgrades and to see new and valued information that we're presenting. LB asks, how many bars of the opposite color before the trading, the reversal trade? Well, remember, that was a technique, just a setup. You still have to, this is not a full strategy, so I don't want you just to jump in there. But I would say you're looking for about 5 bars. And when we say you want to see consistent bars, we're looking for about 5 bars of a specific color in a row. Okay? But we also show you different methods. Now, what I showed you right there was more of a congestion pattern, or more of a holding pattern or stop and go pattern before the momentum returns. There are also different ways to trade it, looking at pullbacks and sell-offs and things of that nature. So there's a lot of different ways to trade it. But in that particular example, that technique, remember, not that strategy, but that technique, I would really say you're looking for a series of anywhere from 5 to 10 bars. If you saw in Tesla, we had a good 10 to 15 bars in green before the stock even took off. It was having a nice slow upward move, and that was all the while that we had about 15 consecutive bars in green before the stock even took off. So way before any news came out, the tool was telling you that we have a nice upward trend. So you could apply any type of strategy you like. Okay, it's a great tool. I used it this morning. In fact, I made a quick $500 in the first couple of hours of trading this using this particular tool, the PET-D. So it's a great tool. You can use it intraday trading. You can use it for monthly bars. Remember, you can use it just to find the direction of a higher time frame, so that you can use it for a lower time frame. There's a number of different ways to use it, and we explain all this in the course. And remember, this is on top of the 3 strategies that you're going to get with all of the rules and all of the entries and stop placement. So these little techniques and little golden nuggets are just ways to use the PET-D. The strategies in of themselves don't even incorporate the PET-D. They're totally different. So this is just an extra great tool that you can use for your trading. Hi, Sylvia. Sylvia asks, is the PET-D a standalone software, or is it to install in our trading platform? Or if it is standalone, where does the data feed come from? No, it's just a simple attachment you would install in your charting platform. It's just very simple, very basic. We give you the code, and you just simply install it, and it's there. Okay, it's not something that you have to have an extra data feed for or anything. It's just we already coded it. Once again, it's a proprietary tool, but it's just really a tool to get you in sync with the trend. Okay, we have it currently for TradeStation, Metastock, MT4, and NinjaTrader. Okay, so hopefully if you have any of those, just simply attach the code and you're up and running. Okay. Remember though, this is only available through the stock course. This is not available standalone. You can only purchase it in the stock course, so it's only available for those members. Okay. And also, as I stated earlier, as we did with the E-mini course and as we did with the Forex course, because of the great success we've had with those, we have increased the price substantially as when they first came out. So, it just goes without saying, if we're doing the same thing and if we have the same type of success with this particular course, this will be much higher in days to come. So I would, if you're serious about taking your stock trading and using these really advanced tools to elevate your trading, I would take advantage of that current discount that we have. All right, well, we've come to the end of another presentation. If there are no further questions, I really want to thank you for attending once again. Remember, if you have any questions, contact our senior trade representative, Don Jans, at donjans@proprietarystrategies.com, or you can simply call him direct at area code 310-492-5393. I want to thank you all for attending, new people as well as old members. Thank you so much. It's great to see Lawrence Rochester again, a great student, and I hope he's doing well, and I hope all of you are doing well. And I look forward to all of you becoming members of the Stock Trading College and Specialist Trading. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.